Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Harry Wolf, and if you're watching, then you're interested in JavaScript and the world of front end. If you think front end, you think me, right? I hope so. Today we are going to continue on our journey with Deno. If you don't know what Deno is, I encourage you to look at some of my earlier videos where I delve into what is Deno. This video is part 3 now. This is the third part so far, where you and me together are building a HTTP server. First part was just getting it working. Second part was adding some proper command line argument parsing. And this third video now, we're going to be delving into some new functionality for our server. So this project is called Den-cro, and it's to mirror the node project micro, which is a super simple HTTP server. You point it at a directory, it reads the index file, and serves things from there directly. Nothing more, nothing less. Today, we're going to add functionality where you can start Den-cro, the name of our server, and it's going to mirror any requests that come in with files that exist in the file system. What does that mean? Let me show you an example. So here we have the project Den-cro. Let's go into our file system. This is my example site. So I'm going to make in here a new file. I'm putting here hello index.ts. I'm just going to copy and paste the root contents into here. And I'm just going to say this be hello to you. I'm going to save that. So what I mean is that we're going to be serving our server from the root of example. So if you go to the root path, you're going to hit the index file. So for example, let me show you more concrete. So if you go to localhost 8000, so you're going to go to this, right? It should hit index.ts. If you go to this, it should hit hello.index. And we're going to add some niceties on top of this later, but for now we're just going to go for the super simple case. So that means that hello index is going to map to hello index. So let's see how we can make that a reality. So we have here our examples. Let's go into the code itself. And we have here the simple file where we're actually parsing and we're getting the handler and we're loading the handler. And then here we're only going to be responding with the handler if the root path is indexed. So a lot of these assumptions in this project are not going to change. No longer are we just going to be serving from the root path. We're also going to be serving from different paths. We're not going to be just loading one handler. We're going to be loading multiple handlers. So what we're going to change here instead is a few things. One of which is I don't even think we need to have any arguments anymore. Things are just going to work by default, and the file names will be the file names. So this is kind of scary because we're kind of like throwing away all the stuff that we did before. So let's think about the easiest case, where if we go to the root, we wanted to load the root handler. So let's go into this server where we're serving up here, and we're importing from here the root handler. So when a request comes in for slash, if it's slash, we want to map that to slash index.ts and load that file. So what we're going to do here is, let's do the simple case. If the request.url is equal to slash, what we're going to do is we're going to say handler equals await. So first we actually have to find the path in the file system. And for that, we used up here this real path thing over here. So let me copy and paste that down here. And we're going to say const handler path await the, so this is going to be the request.url. So the request URL is going to be slash. We're going to load the real path to get the full handler path. And then we're going to take here, move this down over here, and we're going to import that handler path, import that JS file, the TS file, and then try to load it here. So I can actually comment this out. I can comment out all of this. All this stuff is kind of going away, which is fine. So it becomes a lot simpler what we're doing. Let's actually move this over there just to have all the commented out code together. So if all things go correctly, then this should just load when this is loaded. So let's just run here. We're going to run from a folder is what we're going to set the folder. So we're running it from the example folder now. Things are loading. So now if we try to open this up, we get uncaught type error. This is a directory. So we got our first error. So this is uncaught error over here. So let me actually, so these things could fail, right? So let's actually wrap these in try catches. I'm going to do it like this. I'm just going to do console.error, and we'll just do this for now. And we'll have in here the response handler like that. So let's run this again. Move this over. Let's load that up. So we have slash is still a directory. So that's going to always be the case. It's always going to be the case that that's a directory, and we don't really want that to be the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to append index.ts. We're going to do plus index.ts. Let's reload. Incremental building. Refresh. No such file or directory. So the reason for that, if I'm correct, is that we're trying to look up the absolute path. We actually want to look up the relative path. So what I'm going to do here is add in a dot for the relative path. So I'm going to kill this again, reload it, refresh, and that worked. So that's cool. This is very hard coded right now, but it's working. So like this is lazily loading this in, and it's just loading that file. Now let's actually make another example just to make things a little bit more spicy, if you would. Let's make a new file about.ts. Like we're making a website here. So let me copy and paste this into about. Say, what is this about? And we'll save this. And actually what's cool is that we can just go to /about. That doesn't work. So let's actually refresh to see if it has to do something else. Nope, just doesn't find it, doesn't work. So let's go back to our code. Let's think about this. We're doing request URL is /about. Also, all these fave icons, I just want to skip all of them. So I'm going to say if request URL is equal to fave icon, or I'm just going to say this. If the request URL contains or ends with fave icon, then we're just going to respond. We're just going to request respond, return, and we're going to continue. Not even going to worry about it. So let's do this. Go back to the terminal. We start it up, and now I don't want to see any more fave icons in here. So go back to index. Still works as expected. Cool. So goodbye, fave icons. We don't care about you forever. All right. So let's think about why about isn't working. Let's go back to about. It's loading /about. So we have here, so of course it's not working because it's right here. So if we were to add another case where if this equals about, this request URL be ./about/index.ts. And that's not really what we want, is it? We want it to just be, .ts added in our case. We don't really care about this whole thing. So the problem though is that we want to say if the URL maybe ends with a slash, do we change its behavior? And this is also getting really convoluted where we can maybe abstract this away into another function, but we can do that later. We're going to say, let's do this. We're going to respond for all cases now. We're never not going to reply, so let's actually just remove these else statements. Don't need it anymore. Let's save that right like that. So what we're going to say is const what's the word for this? So it's the request URL, but we actually want to like transform it to be like, you know, files, like request URL to file system. God, naming is so hard. We should call this request as file, which is a horrible name. And we're going to say is request.uri ends with, if it ends with a slash, then we can append the /index.ts, right, that we did here, because that's essentially what we did. We said /index.ts. If we don't, then we can just append .ts. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, if it ends with this, we're going to say request.url slash we'll do index.ts. Otherwise, we're just going to do, nope, we're just going to say index.ts. Yeah, does that make sense? We just want to have it be index.ts. So I'm going to say request URL. Yeah, I'm not going to rename this. That was too hard. Otherwise, we're just going to have this be request.url. So it's going to be one of those two. And then all I'm going to do is change this to this. And I'm just going to have this change this to be .ts. Such that if the request comes in with a slash, we're going to append index to it. So it'll be slash index. Then when it comes here, it'll be ./index.ts. If it's slash about, we're going to just use slash about. And then it's going to be ./about.ts. So theoretically, that should work. So if I load this, move this over, and then I go to root, that works. Go here, can't find it. So let's think about why that is, because that seemed like it was going to work. I'm going to do handler path is slash no such file or directory. So this should be slash about ./about.ts. That seems like it should work. Not found. So we're going to say, let's just log this. So we're going to say relative path equals this. I'm going to console log relative path. Save that, restart it. Let's move back over here. Relative path is ./about.ts. That should be working, no? ./about. An example. If I remove the dot, does that make things better? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing at all. No, that doesn't work either. If I were to just hard code this, let's try this. If I were to just do about.ts, like that. Refresh it. Nope. That still doesn't work. Do this. That's what I did before, right? Not working. Let's kill that. Okay. Let's think a little bit more about what's going on. Let's go back to where we were. We got this, catch, error. Then also we want to just respond empty so that we can keep going from there. Alrighty. So we're trying to load real path. Can't load it. And the question that I have is the absolute normalized path. I'm curious about the path lookup because I'm not sure how Deno does path arithmetic, to say that thing. Change directory, current working directory to path. So if I could find the current working directory, which is usually CWD, so let's find that. Let's do console log Deno current working directory, and that is a function, right, like that. Reload that. Current working directory is example. So that makes sense. So example. Oh my God. Do you see what I just did? I put the about in the wrong folder. I put the about in the wrong folder. That's so silly. That's so silly. So if I actually just reload this, I move the file back to where it should be, I load this, that works. Okay, so we were right. That's why programming sucks, because sometimes you make those dumb mistakes and things are working as you expect. Oh, that's so annoying. So this is working. What's this all about? And I go back here. That's working too. Okay, so that makes sense. This is working. And now what should also work is if I do hello. So if I do slash hello, doesn't work. But if I do slash, is that 3 L's? Oh my God, my typos are out of this world. If I do index.this, there we go, hello slash index. So this works. But if I go to hello, I would also expect that it would try to find hello slash index implicitly, right? I don't need to go to slash hello slash index. It should already handle that. And this is kind of getting a little bit long right now, this code. So actually I can remove all this. This is pretty much like we're not worrying about this at all. So here, we're looking at here. So slash index request URL. Trying to look for that file. And then what we need to do here is if this fails, we need to actually do this again. So what I'm going to have down here is I'm going to have a function that is async, and it says we're going to call this just get handler path. Get handler path. And we're going to start with the request URL. And this is going to be a string because we're in TypeScript land. So let's just make this working like we had before. So I'm going to move this. Essentially what I want it to do is I'm going to replace this line of code is going to be get handler path, and it's going to be request URL. That's what we're going to do. And we'll do a wait in here to get that there. Why is this? Dynamic import specifier must be a type string. Because this is going to be a string. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to yank this down over there. And we're now going to copy and paste this here. Actually, we're just going to yank this out over here as well. We're going to move these to be replaced over here with a request URL like that. So now if we save that, everything should be working. So let's return await there. This is going to be a promise that returns a string. There we go. So let's make sure that my little refactor still works. Refresh the page. That's still working. That's still working. Okay, so that's my little refactor is still working. That's always good. And now what we want to do is that if this fails, so request as file. So slash, let's think about this for a second. If I'm going to slash hello, right? If I'm going to slash hello, it does not end with this, so I'm just using that. So it's not ending with a slash, so I'm just using hello.ts. So that means, oops. So that means that, let's do this, try. I'm going to do result. Have this be result equals this right there. Return result. So this might fail. And if it fails, we want to actually try with, okay, so if this fails, what we want to try is one more time, where we're going to try to do, request URL. We're going to try to just do request URL to this. So we're going to do this, like that. Whoops. Just like that. So if the first time we look up the file fails, that means that it might be the index file implicitly. So then we'll try that again here. And then that result would be here. Now the question is, We don't know it until we try the file system, obviously. But do we, and then also if this fails again here, then it should bubble up because we're not catching that in a try catch, which is correct. But as though this looks ugly to me. I'm not sure if we can fix this in a way. But let's just see if this works. Let's just see if this works. We're gonna run it. I'm gonna do hello. Okay, that was the bad example to start with. Let's do hello/index. So hello/index works. About still works. But hello is not working because it's failing on line 43. So it's trying to do ./request URL is going to be /hello. Oh, and then we have to add this / here. So that should work. And it does. If I do foo, that doesn't work as expected. But because I'm now looking that up there, if I do hello /, that also works. Okay, so this is working. That doesn't work. Hello works. Hello/index. Let's add one more folder. Let's do hello new file greeting.ts. Save that in there. We'll call this greetings people. Let's save that. We'll do hello greeting. That works too. Hello greeting. That's pretty cool. Look at that. These are the same things. They're working correctly the same way. So that's not working correctly. It's now correctly serving the file system from the file here as we wanted to. That's pretty cool. Is there a way that we can make this not as brute forcey? Like, is there a convention that I can follow? I'm not really thinking of one right now, but I'm okay with that for now. That is essentially this. This actually didn't happen. I didn't actually use walk. I did this lazily. I was thinking about using this thing walk, where it actually walks the file system, just to give you an idea, where it can actually read all the walk the file system and like read all the files up front to see what's available. But I realized if you have a large directory tree, you're doing all that upfront work, which isn't necessary. You don't have to do that up front. You can just lazily look at the files as requests come in. The first request will be slow, but it means also that, like, so let's do, if I do /hello, hello to, if I save that, it doesn't find it, so it doesn't know that it's different. That's fine though. But if I kill it and restart it, because it's being cached, I imagine. There you go, hello to we. So that's working as expected. That's pretty cool. And this function is down here, so I'm good with that. So let's think about how to commit this in. So these are all my examples that I did, which is fine. And then here, I'm actually not even using this right here. So I can actually remove that file, that other dependency. And that's kind of all that it works with right now. So it's just loading those things there. So let's actually just find this little readme with this. I don't need this. That. Like that. Like that. Done. Oops. This one too. Do git commit mend. Cool. That's this project. So hopefully that was fun for you to watch me stumble through that. Some gotchas there, including just putting the file in the wrong location. Always shows that you should go back to your base assumptions before you kind of question whether you forgot how JavaScript works entirely. That's kind of fun. If you have any ways of improving that function, I'd love to see that. That'd be really cool to know how we can make that a little bit more scalable, because it's very manual right now, but it gets the job done. Hopefully you enjoyed that walkthrough, kind of making this functionality there. It makes it very simple for you to get up and running with your own simple file server with Deno using our little Den-cro micro server. If you're not already a subscriber, do become one, and then look for many more of these videos to come in the future. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next week.